guys, it's Miss Sade here. So I just came on to first of all tell you that we have had an amazing summer at summer camp this year, Headway Success Group. I mean, our theme where the wild things are just came alive, and every lesson, every field trip, it was just infused with science, technology, engineering, math. I love how my kids lit up when they were making games for coding, and the dinosaur dig, probably one of my favorite group activities that we did. Our camping trip was just amazing. Like, we had so much fun, and then the beach trip to Curry Beach on Pleasure Island, all of the above. We have had an amazing time. So I just definitely wanted to share that. Shout out to all the Headway parents that trusted us with your babies this summer. Thank you so much. We hope that we have poured into them what you expected of us, and we will see you guys again next year. So, saying that, I wanted to move on. There are some things that I wanted to touch bases with parents on for the upcoming school year. So, our fall semester of the 2019-2020 school year is quickly approaching. I even have babies that are going to charter school that are going back next week. So I wanted to put this out there before everybody went back to school. So first things first, an attitude of gratitude. It is very important that our children know just how much other children do not have. I remind our Headway babies all the time how many homeless children there are in Guilford County schools, and just how grateful they should be for the things that they have, and how they should not complain about the things they don't have. Going into the school environment where everyone is getting new clothes and new shoes, and they're coming back and talking about their summertime vacation or whatever it is, no matter what your child has or has not done, we have to make sure that we instill in them that you are still blessed beyond measure, and that you have to have an attitude of gratitude. That's number one. Number two, manners. Manners take you a long way. We want to make sure that our children know that saying yes and not yeah and huh and all that is just not appropriate language. We are not playing that. We don't play those things at Headway. We want to make sure that that rolls into the classrooms, that we're showing the teachers utmost respect, and that we are talking to them in a way that is clear and concise, and that shows that we respect them and honor them as teachers. And so we just want to make sure we have a conversation with your kids around that, because as educators, we have a tough time dealing with children that are disrespectful, not just because of that language, that's just polishing, but when it comes to children who are not following directions, or who are very mild-mannered, catch all my drift here. We are limited, of course, within the parameter of how we can deal with those said children. But if we are a village, that doesn't mean you drop your kids off in the village and leave and then come back. That means we are working together to make this thing happen. So if we could have those conversations with our children and say, hey, you do your part in class. You stay quiet. You raise your hand. You make sure that you're being respectful. If we have those conversations at home, we can supplement those conversations in the classroom and in our after-school care, and it will make just for a wonderful learning environment. So that was number two. Number three, making education a priority in your home. So I've had so many students to tell me that parents do not help them with their homework. I've questioned parents, and they haven't known what their children are actually doing in school for that week. And also, parents who do not spend time reading to their kids, or even listening to their kids read. So I want to challenge every parent out there to make education not a verbal priority in your home, but make it a priority in which you lead by example. When is the last time your child saw you pick up a book? When's the last time you asked them about what they're doing in school, what they're learning, how it applies to their life, things like that. So those are the kind of things that we want to do. We want to make sure that reading is a priority in our home. Bye, sweet girl. We want to make sure that reading is a priority in our home, that education in its full sense is a priority in our home. That means extended education. That means after school, private tutoring, seeing mom and dad sit down and do a crossword, something. We got to make sure that our babies know that feeding your brain constantly is what's going to keep them current with where the world is moving. So that was number three. Number four, another challenge for you parents. Go and sit in a classroom. And I'm not talking about your student's classroom. Go and sit in another child's classroom. Volunteer for a full day. It's very important that you guys understand just how much educators deal with throughout the course of the day. There are so many different dynamics to a classroom, and it is a challenge to make sure that you are addressing every dynamic and addressing children specifically, whether it be the way that they learn, the way that they respond to reprimand or not respond to reprimand. But it is good for you to get a healthy dose of what teachers go through. You'll better understand, you know, the reason why there's such a shortage of teachers, and not just in Guilford County, but in North Carolina and across the country. There's a shortage because teachers are getting out of the field, and they're getting out because it is getting to be very overwhelming. We're having to be mom, auntie, big sister, taking care of hygiene problems. You know, is this baby, you know, why is this scratch on your face? Where's this bruise coming from? Why are you always sleepy? What do you mean you didn't eat last night? Like, there's so much going on that inside of a classroom, those issues, they filter through a child in different ways. And a lot of that is with behavior. And so before you jump the gun and say what teachers should or should not be doing or anything, I challenge you to go sit in a classroom, volunteer, help that teacher out, or just absorb everything that they have to do, the patience and the tolerance that they have to have. I think it's very important that parents get a healthy dose of that. Not to say, nana boo boo, I told you so, but just so you can understand how much teachers do in a given day. So I absolutely love you guys. And I am so honored to be able to serve this Greensboro community through Headway Success Group. I love my students and their families. I always say that Headway is a family. If you've never been to a family night, go to a family night. Go on our website. You can see all of the pictures from family night, all the pictures from anything that we have done is on our website, on our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram. We love you guys, and we are pouring out everything that we have to make sure that our students are headway above the rest, beyond the rest, right here in Greensboro and in Reidsville, North Carolina. That's all I have. I love you guys. This is Miss Sade signing off.